Hello subscribers and non-subscribers, and welcome back to Let's Play Stellaris. So sorry there was no part last week. The reason for that is quite simply that I had to send my monitor out to get an issue that I was having with it fixed, because it was starting to interfere with my ability to use it for non-gaming purposes, and it was actually sort of slowly starting to crop up as well, and interfere with my ability to play games. So yes, that has now been dealt with. Let me go ahead and get my timer started. And we can begin. So I think this part we are sort of doing our final preparations before we go to war with the Kirantis citizen state. I don't expect us to be declaring the war on them this part. If we do, it'll be right at the very end, and we won't actually be fighting the war until next part. But we'll see how this all ends up actually working out.
Special project complete.
In the meantime, we need to continue building up our fleets. If memory serves me from my test run, the enemy had something like I don't know why I was about to say 7K sounds way too big. I think it was probably like maybe 4 to 5K-ish fleet, or maybe it was 7. I don't know. It was a bigger fleet than me. I was able to win the war eventually. I just needed to capture their homeworld, and then they basically spent the rest of the war bombarding it into oblivion, allowing me to rebuild my forces to go and actually wage a war. Or for me to be able to rebuild my forces and then proceed to finish them off and get a peace. So that's sort of what we're going to be probably end up doing here as well. Depends a little on if things end up playing out more or less the same way, of course, which I kind of expect the war to, so it's mostly a question of how techs will play out. I think I'm going to actually go for Voidborn here for the additional habitat space, because we can kind of take advantage of that. It does actually benefit us to a degree.
Construction complete.
Because if we manage to get like cruisers researched before we go to war this time, which that wasn't the case when I had ran through the war off screen as just a test. Well, actually that's not true. I did technically research them right before the war finished, but I wasn't able to actually build any in time. And those were very useful in allowing me to finish them off after the initial engagement in which I took their capital.
Anomaly found. System survey complete.
Now, one thing I am actually going to do, though, nonetheless, is I'm going to go and build some more assault armies. Because while 10 was enough for me to occupy it before, I did take some heavy losses, and I'd kind of like to just not have to deal with that. Or rather, I'd like to be able to take it much faster so I can potentially pull my fleet out of the system much earlier. That way I minimize losses to my navy, which is the important bit of our military. No, game, don't do that. Thank you. You don't need to go all the way down there. What's this? Suddenly received a glancing hit by several passing mass driver rounds. The projectiles were billions of years old, and based on their trajectory, they appear to be stray rounds fired from a neighboring galaxy. After missing their intended target, they continued on their journey for untold millennia until today. The rounds We have recovered of an advanced design despite their incredible age, so we gain a little bit of
The spirits have
engineering
granted us
research,
new wisdom.
which is useful. Let's see. Better shields, yes. Admin capacity, yes. Okay, 2 months and then we're done researching whatever we're currently researching in engineering. And then maybe we get cruisers, maybe, please game. I mean, probably not knowing my luck, but hey, you never know. Let's get a fleet academy built.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
And nope, we get to research a couple extra hull points for corvettes, which mean effectively nothing. Or get rare crystals, which I think we're going to go for, because that is actually more useful than 100 extra hull points for cruisers. Because 100 hull points is, for all intents and purposes, nothing. I'm just going to be honest about that. It effectively means nothing. Let's double what we're currently selling of food on the market. So we get a little bit extra. Let's build another astro mining bay on Egorolus or Eggrolus, I don't know. I want to call it, no, it wouldn't be Eagle actually, because the R is before the O. Yeah, I guess it'd just be Eggrolus. Either way, whatever it's called, we're going to go ahead and build an astro mining bay on it. Let's see, so yeah, those ticks are going to be a ways out. I'm going to go ahead and kick the game up to 3 speed. Okay. That's what happened to you over there. That's fine. I can live with that. It's not really a big deal. Get you another Corvette. You need one more after this, and then you're up to your full capacity right now, at least as of how I have designed you. Admittedly, you do have 30 extra command limits still, so I could, you know, tack a bunch more Corvettes or cruisers, or not cruisers, Corvettes or destroyers on you, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna hope I get cruisers before we go to war. And maybe I can build a couple. That'll also give us 10 extra fleet command limit.
Construction complete.
Wonderful. That'll give our guys a little extra
Construction
research.
complete.
Actually, let's build a habitation district. Well, no, you don't really need the habitation district, because this actually does provide enough housing. And you can make do with the little bit it provides right now. Okay, so I just need to get you all the way up. No, 300 days is a little too long for my taste right now. I assume you're wanting to build the destroyers first, and destroyers are how expensive again? 249 alloys. Yeah, that's gonna take a while. I would love to get the Navy Veterans Quarter, so I think we're gonna hold off and build one of those for the plus 7% ship fire rate and plus 20% evasion. All of that evasion and whatnot that we can get, it adds up. Okay, once you're done there,
System
I don't have
survey
the
complete.
alloys right now, but I want you to go ahead and build the outpost around
Construction
Peg
complete.
as soon as you can. Just to lock down this area. I mean, Rise Size is also a decent spot, but I'd rather have Peg personally.
Construction complete.
So you go ahead and build your
System
thing
survey
there.
complete.
You know what? You excavate that site. You might get some nice fancy stuff, maybe. Probably not. But you never know. If memory serves me, I think there's a Leviathan somewhere in this region. I think it might be over here, but I don't quite recall where it was. I just recall that there was one. Or no, actually it might be here. And that's why they haven't built anything here. I don't really recall. I just recall that there was one somewhere in this region up here. Okay, 5 more months. Okay, we get to start a new tradition tree, and I don't know why the UI looks differently. It decided this is the way it's going to draw the UI this time. So we'll just have to live with this being the way the UI now looks. See, I think endurance is going to be a little bit more useful to us because it gets Zempec 4 to have, or be a little bit closer to having positive habitability. Well, not necessarily positive, but actually having decent habitability for our population. But kleptocracy is also somewhat useful for that adoption effect of plus 8% ship fire rate because, you know, the faster your ships can fire, the more they shoot, and the more they shoot, the more damage they do. And the more damage you do, the quicker you deal with enemy ships, and if the enemy runs out of ships first, you're in a much better position than they are. However, that kleptocracy is also a little bit more useful as well because of ominous operations for that minus 15% ship build speed, or technically it's a plus 15% ship build speed because its build speed is increased by negative 15%, meaning it's decreased by 15%. It's a very weird way of labeling this stuff, I'll be honest, sometimes. And fabricated claims is also somewhat useful, but I really love the ominous operations there a little more so. But ominous operations is a second tier thing. Fabricated claims is a first tier. Yeah, you know, I think I'm going to go for endurance. Just for that habitability. If I can get my people to actually be able to live on this world reasonably, one, they'll grow faster, which is useful. And two, they're not going to suck up as much food or consumer goods or amenities. Which is useful for us because that's more stuff we can potentially sell on the open market.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Let's get the admin capacity again, I think. Or actually, no, let's go for the excavation speed because, you know, we're gonna go ahead and start excavating this stuff. How are you doing, actually?
Construction complete.
You have found a single clue. You have not managed to roll a breakthrough yet.
Wisdom.
But you do currently have a 20% chance of that. Oh, game exploration cruisers. So, since I'm using the new ship class, whatever the hell it's called, yeah, I think it's called new ship classes. One of the ship classes it adds is an exploration cruiser, which is literally just a science ship that's armed. That's effectively all it is. But it has its uses as a result. But that's not what I'm looking for, and you don't have to research this if I recall correctly. Exploration cruiser is not required to be allowed to research. Well, at least I don't recall it being the case. And this actually doesn't. So this tech tree does not take into account the mods either, actually. Which is a little annoying, to be honest, but okay, I can live with this. That's fine. That's fine. I kind of wish it took into account the mods as well, but okay. But no, you shouldn't need this to get cruisers. Do I want to go for better ships that I'm not going to use because I can't for one? Nah, screw it. We'll get exploration cruisers. None of that other tech is particularly useful to us right now, so screw it. We'll get the one thing that is potentially useful, even if it's not necessarily the best. We shall get those shields in just under a year.
System survey complete.
Sell 5k and then buy 250 alloys, and then let's build some stuff here. And you're building corvettes. Okay, never mind. You're gonna prioritize the corvettes over the destroyers. I could stop you from doing that if I cared enough to. I don't.
Construction
so I won't stop you.
complete.
I will be a little annoyed that you are doing that, but I won't stop you from doing it.
System survey complete.
God, that is a rich system. 19 energy credits and 10 minerals. Well, yeah, no, I guess that's okay. That's fine with that layout like that.
Anomaly found.
Yeah, 80 days. You can go ahead and do that. I don't bother reading half the anomalies anymore because I've seen them so many times now. You can, of course, always pause if you wish to read them, but some of them are too quick to react, so you may not be able to pause in time, in which case I apologize. I'm not going to change, but sure, I'll apologize for that. So we have 2 holy worlds. One that is effectively within our borders, another one that's right on the borders of the Fallen Empire, who, you know, don't want us to colonize their holy worlds. So that's something we're going to have to deal with. Once you're done, go over there. Let's get you to build some more corvettes. The sooner you get done building your corvettes, the sooner you can focus on your destroyers, which are going to be much more useful overall. Where are you? You are sitting at 157. I am currently at 96, so you are still roughly about twice mine. What do we get? We got some side research. The expedition team found a safe spot to set up camp. Additional equipment and personnel are being dropped off to the makeshift camp with small drop ships. An expedition is now getting ready to search the nearby precursor ruins. Excellent.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
And now we got our new fancy shields. Let's get the research alternatives. Let's equip our new fancy shields. And let's upgrade the Syndius Starfleet first, because they're the ones that are going to see the biggest impact from this. I say that, but it's not going to be a particularly massive impact. They're going to go up a couple hundred points at best.
Our ships have been improved.
Not even a couple hundred. They only managed to about 100, give or take a little.
Our ships have been improved.
But that's still fine.
Complete.
It's not as good as I was hoping for, but it's still fine. Let's go ahead and buy some more alloys. I want you to go ahead and finish that up, just to get it out of the way. I could send one of my fleets to go and deal with this, so we can start exploring. Yes, send it to the homeworld for research. We will eventually get around to it. It's 27 months of society research to do that, and quite frankly, I don't care to do that right now. But as I was saying, I could send one of my fleets down here to deal with these guys, so that we could start exploring down there. Might actually want to do that. At worst case, I'll lose a couple corvettes. You know what? Yeah, we're going to send this India's fleet to take care of that. Get it out of the way. Okay, what'd you get? The expedition team has been sent out along a narrow path alongside the first outer ruins. This is to hopefully avoid any surprises that may lie on the main path into the ruins. It will take some time before they enter the ruins. Curious. Ah yes, we are
Construction complete.
exploring the precursor ruins on Zempek 4, a planet that we've already colonized. Well, we didn't really colonize, we conquered it.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
See, you're not allowed to colonize planets that have archaeological sites on them that haven't yet been explored. So it's a little interesting that the AI is allowed to spawn on a planet with an archaeological site, and then you can conquer it and have a colony on a planet that has an archaeological site that has yet to be explored. A little weird that the game just kind of ignores its own rules a little there, but whatever. Let's get Galactic Bureaucracy. I could benefit from the additional admin capacity as per usual. That allows us to research stuff a little bit faster. We're currently taking a 10% penalty to research because of a 10.5%
complete.
Research or technology cost. So it would be great if we didn't have to deal with that. You know, I probably shouldn't send the army with them. Let's send the army back home. There's literally no reason for the army to follow the navy there. Well, I guess technically it'd be more marines, but whatever. Okay, what do we got going on here in Jesura? What do I want to build? Well, first things first, they need more housing, so we'll build a habitation district. The person who is currently unemployed is a Fulan, so let's go ahead and I think I'm going to go for let's go for a temple, actually. What do we got? Old is an understatement. The team has made it into the ruins and have found it to be quite safe. Several small artifacts have so far been discovered along the route the expedition team has taken. Trinkets, tools, but also small electronic devices. A cursory analysis reveals them to be over 100,000 years old. The supplies of the team are running low, so they're returning to base camp. Meanwhile, a secondary expedition team is heading out. Excellent find. Use it to boost our research. I would love the additional engineering research. Thank you. If I can get expedition or exploration cruiser research faster, I can potentially research legitimate cruisers faster. Or at least get around to them a little sooner. Are we building? Yes, we do have the slaves here, so let's get a slave processing facility on Egralis. You continue building me
survey complete.
all of my fancy schmancy, well, not really fancy, they're corvettes, and they're really not that fancy. And I would hide the UI for battles and the like here in Stellaris, but because it uses F9, which is the button that I always use for recording, I can't really do that. It's not an option.
Heretic fleet engaged.
So we get to see our fleet fly around, fire its railguns and its lasers and all that jazz. at these mining robots, I believe they are. Again, if anything, I'll probably maybe lose a Corvette or two. That should be the worst of our losses. A new contact. Who the hell did we discover now? Oh, you. Yes, I remember you. You walk the path of heresy, alien scum. They are materialists, so why not? It works. Where's a destroyer, out of curiosity? I know I have a destroyer in these fleets. Holy crap, they are apparently very good at hiding our corvettes, or destroyers. God damn it, why do I always there we go. Of course, they're moving around a little too much. They don't need to be moving around nearly as much as they do. Like, they really should just kind of sit still, but I guess we won't observe that until we get to, well, cruisers and battleships and whatnot. Things that will be, I'll be able to just kind of tell to sit in place. These guys are also getting a little too close to the combat, to be honest, as well. They have no reason to get this close. But then again, I don't have even basic combat rolls, so that's not helping. Let's go ahead and get the game up to fast. So we can get Ultra Mega, which doesn't really do anything for us right now. It increases our build speed of mega structures by 25%. In addition, it adds a feature that is not yet available in the mod that added this, which is Open Habitat, which is just a habitat that expands automatically over time. But since that feature has been implemented, it's only really useful for the megastructure build speed. And I don't have the ability to build megastructures besides habitats, and I can't afford to build habitats anyway. So let's go for Cohesion Brings Unity for the monthly Unity bonus. I would love to get down to Homefront there for the plus 25% slave pop resource output. You continue working on your destroyer or corvette.
System survey complete.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's get an energy grid here on Galonde because it has a couple of reactor districts, so it does benefit from that. You guys still going? Yep, but you are going quite a bit faster now. Down to 5 ships to destroy, make that 4. Kick you up to fastest. Once we get into much bigger battles, we'll probably slow down as well, just to observe them. I like to do it sometimes, especially because the reality is if I reach a point at some point where the enemy can't do anything to stop me. I would love to get somebody over there to discover those. How long will it take you to get there? $754 days, and I think you have something like 10 years. It's some fairly ridiculous amount of time. Oh, no, not 10 years quite. I don't know why I was thinking 10 years. I guess it's more like 5. New route. Our secondary expedition team has found a few tunnel systems and has discovered they lead into a well-preserved 6-sided chamber, possibly leading into a bigger complex. The chamber has 5 other doors, but they appear to be locked. Tools and equipment are being brought in to assist in breaching the locked doors. Continue with caution. We don't want to potentially wake something up that was locked away for good reason. Unless we can find some way to control it, which, let's be honest, probably isn't the case. So, okay, this part we will not be declaring the war. We won't be declaring the war potentially next part either, but we shall see. Oh, wow, that was fast. We have finally breached one of the locked doors. It looks like this is a rather large complex, part of the ruins above, perhaps. Our expedition team is splitting up into groups of 2 in order to more efficiently explore the chambers of this complex. Who knows what we'll find? Or what we'll find them. Yeah, can you not add that last part? Thank you.
System survey complete.
You know, that last part kind of doesn't do it for me. There's my timer. Let the part go a little bit longer. It's okay. It's not that big of a deal. Let's sell 5,000 of those. Buy some more alloys.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Some research alternatives. Wonderful. Let's go for... I think I'm inclined to go for the better physics research. Thank you very much, game. We found some more primitives. The only primitives I plan to invade are these guys down here on the flat planet. Well, I say only. That's not quite true, because technically, again, we did invade Zempek. We'll invade those guys as well, I guess is a more accurate way of saying it.
The spirits have granted us new wisdom.
Wonderful, we have exploration cruisers. Let's... You know, I will need civilian fabricators. I'm gonna need that. But I would love to have the better armor, so we're gonna go for the better armor instead. And just kind of hope everything works out for the best. So this is our exploration cruiser. It's actually not that bad looking. But let's see. No, you're gonna go with an artillery stern, and we're gonna go with an artillery core 2, I think. Yeah. 2 artillery cores. Let's clear the design, redo it from scratch. So this gives us, let's see. That's anomaly discovery chance, which I don't care for. Well, I guess I can just do it this order, actually. It's probably better. Because the things you're going to add, game, well, survey speed, I guess, is okay. But survey speed doesn't typically take that long anyway, and I can add that in that other spot anyway. Give you a reactor booster. Oh, okay, those reactor boosters aren't good enough, apparently. Well, I guess that's not a surprise. They are tier 1. Coil guns are more power efficient, so I'm just going to give you a whole bunch of coil guns. You'll just have to suffice with that for the time being. The reality is I'm not going to be building one of you anytime soon, so it's not that big of a deal. But there we go. So you'll have a survey lab, which increases survey speed, and then you'll have advanced physics laboratory, advanced science or society laboratory, and an advanced engineering laboratory, respectively, all of which provide 10 of their respective research points, which isn't a whole lot, but I can build multiple exploration cruisers over time. Or at least that's the way it used to work. It's possible they changed it. Right now I can only build one, but I believe I can build multiples as we grow. It's just, right now I'm only technically allowed to support the construction of a single exploration cruiser. Of course, they're ridiculously expensive at over 1,000 alloys, and well, you see how we struggle to pump out enough alloys to afford to build corvettes and destroyers, both of which are comparatively much cheaper. One by roughly 1/10, and one is roughly 1/4 the cost. Or one's roughly 1/10 the cost, the other's roughly 1/4 the cost. So, yeah, we're not going to get one of those out anytime soon, at least not until we conquer our neighbor up here. At least in my little test run, I was in a much better position once I had conquered these guys in terms of resource output. So that's not their main fleet. Jesus, they're at 220 now, and I'm at 125. We're sort of slowly getting up there, but it's going to be a while. It really is.
Construction complete.
Wonderful. We go ahead and finish there. Let's just sort of lock down these areas now. Repair is completed on you. Let's go ahead and get the Navy to, or the Army to follow you. Get another Corvette out, and we'll end this part in just a moment. Let's see, is there a good tech stopping point? And no, I'm not really gonna go for the whole extra 9 months. You know what? This should be almost over. This is probably the last event, so once we finish this archaeological site, we'll... No, well, no. Kind of prefer a cliffhanger. Let's end it here, and next part we'll see what this archaeological site gives us. So that is going to be it for this part. I will see you all next time, where we will be... Next part should be the finishing touches of building up our military to be able to go and fight the Kiranti's citizen state. So next part I am expecting, unless things go horribly wrong, I am expecting to have fabricated, or to be declaring our war on the Kiranti's citizen state. We may not fight it next part, but we will, if things go to plan, be at the very least declaring it. But until next time, a goodbye and farewell. Quick reminder, I do have a Patreon, link that down in the description below if you wish to support the channel that way. It is the easiest and the best way to help support it. For as little as $1 a month, you get early access to all my videos. The higher tiers do also give you the ability to get a character named, or a character in game named after you. So if you wish to have a admiral, a scientist, a general, a governor, named after you, or rather named after some name you want to have used, you can do that. You just need to go and subscribe to the $3 or $5 tier. The $3 tier is basically just the $5 tier, but sort of like an early bird special type version of it, so it's $2 cheaper. I also have affiliate links down below for picking up this game, the base game, and then I think I also have some down there as well for picking up this DLC in particular. And if you use those links, it helps the channel out. I get a small commission. Depending on which one you use decides how much the commission is, because one of them, new accounts, get a higher commission percentage than old accounts, while the other ones I think are flat rates, no matter if it's a new account or a existing account. But either way, like I said, that'll be it for this part. I will see you all next time, but until then, a goodbye and farewell.